Hey guys, it's Ed Dividend Guy coming at you with another Tesla stock update, and this video is going to be a little bit different. So, I'm posing a question here, and I want some comments down below. I'll make sure I share this on Instagram as well. What do you think is going to happen to Tesla stock once it enters the S&P 500? Now, I know Tesla stock went up drastically, and it has been for a while. As you guys can see, it was at like what 410 when around the time it was announced it was getting into the S&P 500. Now it's $607. So obviously a big price increase there due to the hype of it getting 5 consecutive profitable quarters, and on top of that, it's going to be included in the S&P 500. Have the biggest market cap of any automaker, which means according to the S&P 500, the amount of shares allocated in the fund is based upon market cap. So when you buy the S&P 500, you get more Apple technically than anything else because it has the biggest market cap. Then it's like Microsoft or Facebook. It's based upon market cap. So you're going to have more Tesla than you are GM, right? You're going to have more Tesla, I think, than you do Facebook now as well. It's one of the biggest companies, biggest automakers, and it's made Musk insanely rich. But what this means is when you buy into the S&P 500, which anything that mirrors the S&P 500 is included in this as well, you buy a bunch of Tesla stock. So the question is, do I think the hype of it being in the S&P 500, is that going to outweigh it actually being included in the S&P 500? And what do I think is going to happen with the stock price once it's actually inducted into that class? So here's just my prediction. Again, not financial advice or anything, so consult your CPA. I'm just kind of spitballing here, kind of giving my opinion, but I want to see what happens here. Because I do believe it's like the 25th or something like that. So we're coming up on the date where Tesla's actually going to be included. And I know that there's a lot of hype in the stock because of that. It was great. It's great news, right? I love Tesla. I think they're innovators. I think they're disrupting an entire industry. I've been bullish on Tesla for a very long time. I just don't own shares of the stock because I don't know what the price is, intrinsic value wise, because I usually do dividend stocks, but I am a fan of growth stocks as well. So I think personally that the hype will die down. Of course, I think it will get back down to probably 500 a share. I don't think it will be as drastic of a price decrease that we've seen, because it's not bad news, right? It's just the good news is already priced into the stock. So right now you're buying the stock at 600 because it had 5 profitable quarters and because it had certification to go into the S&P 500. But the thing that I'm actually most excited about as an investor, and a future investor of Tesla, because I do want to own the stock, the problem that I had with Tesla thus far is that I don't know what it's worth, right? And the stock price is so up and down, which I can handle the volatility. I don't mind that. I actually like volatility because it gives me a chance to buy lower. But one of the things that I'm really excited about is the difference in that volatility. So once Tesla is in the S&P 500, like I said, all of those funds that like SPY, VOO, even VTI, the Total Stock Market Index, anything that mirrors the S&P 500 will be buying Tesla shares, which means that there are going to be a lot more institutional Tesla holders. And so these big financial institutions are going to be buying a bunch of Tesla shares because a lot of them can't beat the market. Most of the time, they just buy VOO or SPY, and that's going to mean that there are going to be a lot more shareholders of Tesla and a lot less sellers because they don't have a choice, right? So if you buy the market, you're buying a big piece of Tesla because Tesla is now going to be included in that market. So I think what we're going to see is the hype will die down for Tesla. I think a little bit in the short term because, like I said, it's already being priced in that it's going to be in the S&P 500. So once it gets inducted, I think we're going to see a small dip in price. And once it's inducted, I think it's going to make the stock go probably back up to, I would say, about $600 range is where I'm kind of guessing. So I think it's going to go down because it's hyped up right now. But I think the actual stock, like the institutional investors, the big hedge funds, once they actually get into the stock, because they have to be, because it's going to be one of the bigger players in the S&P 500, and like I said, it's arranged by market cap. So when you buy it, you buy more Tesla than you do, say, CenturyLink or General Motors or or any of the other like AT&T or Verizon. Like it's based upon market cap. So when you buy it, you actually buy more Tesla than a lot of the other companies, and I think that will be reflected in the stock price. So I think what's going to happen is right now it's up, of course, because of the news, and it's down now. But I think it will come back up once it's actually inducted, and then I think it will finally get. I think we'll finally get like. Not, I don't want to say flat because I don't think it'll ever be flat, but you'll get a lot less volatile stock when it comes to Tesla once it's in the S&P 500. I think a lot of people are going to jump into Tesla because it's in the S&P 500, and I think a lot of those people are actually going to stay. So I think a lot of that volatility that we see in Tesla is actually going to die down because you're going to have a lot less shorts because it's included, and I don't think the stock will move as violently as it has in the past. So I think you're going to see a lot less shorting on Tesla as well because once it's inducted into the S&P 500, I think it's going to trade a lot more calmly than it has in the past. But that's just my take on it, guys. What do you guys think is going to happen to the price of Tesla? How high do you think it's going to get? I saw some analysts from JP Morgan say it's a $90 stock. I saw some people from like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley say it's like an $800 stock. Nobody really knows right now. It's kind of up in the air. I'm just throwing my tidbit out there. I don't know what price it's going to be. Nobody does. But I do think that we've seen a big spike because it's going to be inducted in the S&P. I do think we're going to see a little bit of a pullback. Maybe people will sell out before because of the hype. Like what just happened, like look at literally what just happened. It was at 618, now it's at 607. So I think people are saying that it's priced in. I think we might see an even bigger dip closer to the date that it's inducted into the S&P or the day that it's brought in. But then I do think that it's going to spike a bit and then it's going to kind of level out, flatten out, and be less volatile. But let me know what you guys think. I am not currently a Tesla shareholder, but I'm definitely a Tesla bull. I love the company. I was actually kind of waiting for it to stabilize and kind of see what happens with the S&P 500 it being added into the index. So let me know what you guys think. I'm super excited. This is going to be one of my favorite holdings. I'm actually saving up for some Tesla right now, so I'm pretty excited. But let me know, guys, what you think is going to happen with the induction of Tesla into the S&P 500. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button, and when you do, hit the bell notification. I do Tesla videos. I do portfolio updates, Buffett updates. I did the Airbnb IPO. I did DoorDash. So keeping up with stock market news, trying to keep up with my portfolio, and just keep up the content. So if you guys appreciate that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any updates. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Tesla update. Take care.